Hello and welcome back to another patch note reading with me, Meoni, for Final Fantasy XIV. This is patch 7.25 then, hitting the servers today at around 11 AM BST on the 27th of May 2025. Patch 7.25 includes 3 major pieces of content: the Mamulja Allied Society quests, the continuation of the Hildebrand adventures, as well as the new Occult Crescent, which is a new field instance for Disciples of War and Magic that also includes the new relic weapons known as phantom weapons. So let's look at this content then, and they've split this down into separate bits if you want to jump to it. And of course, this includes all sorts of different changes to the base game as well. First of all then, Occult Crescent, and it's called the South Horn. This first area starts with One Last Hurrah, which is the quest name, and you can pick this up in Tulialal at X17.1, Y11.8 from the Expedition Messenger. It says players must first have completed the main scenario quest for Dawntrail, and that seems to be the only requirement other than being level 100. There is also a series of other quests after this, as you can see, quite a few, and eventually you will also unlock the phantom weapons from Geralt, who is also on the actual island with arcane artistry at level 100, and this is from Lidirisiel, I think that's the NPC's name, and you must have also completed Unfamiliar Territory, which is one of the quest lines, the third quest line, in fact, through the actual Shades Triangle instance for the South Horn. Additionally, we've got Hildebrand. If you want to take part in that, you can go to Solution 9 at X18.5, Y13.6, be level 100, and also have completed Crossroads in the MSQ, as well as the previous quest for the case of the Displaced Inspector, to be able to pick up Wizened Testimony. There does appear to be only 2 quests, though, unfortunately. I was kind of hoping that there would be more than 2 quests for Hildebrand, but they are likely packed full of goodness, personally, at least I think so. The Mamulja Allied Society quest then, as we talked about before, will have the quest Cultivating Hope, which actually starts this, and you'll be able to pick this up in Yaktel itself at X35.6, Y32.0, which, if I remember correctly, is in Mamulja itself, in Mamuk, from the NPC Gutolja. Now, Gutolja was involved in the side quest that I told you to do in a previous video as well, for One Forest, as well as completing Dawntrail as well. One Forest itself is actually unlocked through the course of 9 quests, essentially. There's 2+ quests that you unlock as part of the MSQ, and then there are, obviously 7 other quests that are side quests, and we did a video not long ago, so if you want to go watch that quickly, you'll know exactly what to do. There are quite a few quests, obviously, for this. It is an Allied Society quest, and of course has dailies, in which case you want to do a set of dailies before reset today, so do a first set as soon as you get onto the game, and then when reset comes, you'll be able to do a second set. That's just for today, and you'll be a day ahead of everyone else who is not able to do that. This is a gathering-focused Allied Society quest, and of course, you will need to have a level 90 gathering class to be able to take part in this. And yeah, there are obviously vendors, and there's currency, and there's reputation, and presumably lots of cool rewards to collect. Moving on then, housing. Housing's had a new injection of items. A lot of these items will likely be from the Occult Crescent. Let's zoom in a little bit. We've got this giant globe, or space. What is this? It looks like a galaxy map on a sphere, which looks cool. Then we've got some kind of architecture that I don't know any context for on a plinth. We've got new seats, new beautiful tables, a big floaty rock, and some slates, so presumably also from Shades Triangle. There's also new orchestra roles, they say, because lots of new music. So I'm personally looking forward to hearing some Final Fantasy V remixes from Soken. The Gold Saucer, it says new cards have been added and new NPC opponents for Triple Triad have been added. Presumably the NPCs for Triple Triad are in the Occult Crescent, or, probably Ketenram, people like that. And the new cards will likely be also, Ket and Ram as a card or whoever else is in the story. Entries for the Occult Crescent have been added to the challenge log, so there is a challenge log. If you remember with Eureka and Bosgia, etc., you can get a fair amount of EXP inside for whatever class you're doing. This time it's Phantom Jobs, right? You'll be able to do your Phantom Jobs inside and level them up through your challenge log. A really good option. A new hairstyle has been added. This was originally in the hairstyle design contest for 2023. It's a short bob with obviously hair across the eyes. This is something they did say was going to come to the game, and it's another short hairstyle, which might not be your cup of tea, but it is one of the people that entered into the 2023 hair design contest. It's not my cup of tea personally, but I know several people who have this haircut in real life, so I'm imagining that they'll probably make their character look like that. There is a new emote in the game, which appears to be some kind of dance. It's a static image of prancing around. And then the battle system. So there are actually changes to a few people, not many. Actions and traits mostly. Each action and trait is listed as it appears at level 100. So we've got Ninja with Phantom Kamitachi. Potency is no longer reduced after the first enemy. Hollow Nozuchi. Potency has been increased from 50 to 70, and potency is no longer reduced after the first enemy for Kunai's Bane and Tenri Jindo. And you'll see this is something they've done to all of the affected jobs here pretty much. For Bard then, Pitch Perfect, reduction in potency after the first target has been changed from 55% to 50%, so a 5% gain. Shadow Bite, potency has been increased from 180 to 200. Barrage potency has been increased from 280 to 300, so it's little small buffs. Blast Arrow, reduction in potency after the first target has been changed from 60% to 50%. Same thing for Resonant Arrow, but 55 to 50%. And the same exact thing, 55 to 50% in the potency after the first target with Radiant Encore. And you'll see pretty much the same thing going on here with Machinist and also Summoner, which also seem to get the same sort of treatment. For Machinist, it's Ricochet, Chainsaw, Double Check, Checkmate, Excavator, and Full Metal Field, which is interesting. I don't know how much of a buff that works out as. You'd have to probably visit the balance to figure that out. And then the Summoner as well, pretty much the same with Death Flare, Akmorn, Revelation, Sunflare, and Exodus. So we should see, I don't know, an 8 to 10% buff or something like that, maybe less, across the board for Ninja, Bard, Machinist, and Summoner. So we'll have to see how that translates into PvE content. So with the Occult Crescent then, there's a lot of stuff to go over. And of course, this is something that you can queue with 8 players. You get 118 minutes inside, and you need to be a level 100 and also have an average item level of 690 or above. And of course, it is a field instance. And of course, like we said before, we have a requirement that's called Unfamiliar Territory from the Phantom Village in the archive there. So yes, there's a whole quest line, as we said. So once you've unlocked this, then you can enter the Occult Crescent by speaking with Jeffroy in the Phantom Village. If entering as a party, the leader must speak with Jeffroy. So traversing, players are free to ride mounts at any time after entering the Occult Crescent, but they cannot fly. So mounting from the start, big deal. Very cool. While on the Occult Crescent, the action return will be replaced by Occult Return. Using this action will return players to the base camp. You may change between Disciple of War and Magic classes and jobs that are level 100. Note, however, you cannot change classes or jobs during combat, obviously, or under certain conditions. So obviously everything you've got to 100 you can swap to. Progress on the Occult Crescent is measured by a separate leveling system once again, and this is called Knowledge. Players accrue knowledge akin to experience points by completing quests and defeating enemies that inhabit the Isle. Same deal as like with Eureka. This is the leveling system then called the Knowledge level. You'll see on the top of the UI that they've demonstrated here. And the knowledge level can be increased by accumulating sufficient knowledge, again from defeating enemies and things. Engaging foes with a knowledge level higher than your own will reduce the damage dealt and increase damage received, but will garner more knowledge upon victory, so you get rewarded, obviously, for that difficulty spike. Current knowledge level is displayed in the HUD. and the XP bar. So as you can see here, knowledge level 1, 84 EXP out of 100, it says there. We've also got some other currencies and things on here as well, including the EXP chain. It says incapacitation penalty. If your knowledge level is above 5, so anything above level 5, falling in battle in the Occult Crescent can incur a penalty. If you're incapacitated and return to base camp without being revived, or if you leave the instance while incapacitated, you will lose a portion of your knowledge. Should your knowledge fall below 0, your knowledge level will also decrease. The amount of knowledge lost depends on your current knowledge level. So much like with Eureka and everything else, you can level down. Very much the same. EXP chains, under certain conditions, consecutively defeating enemies within a set period of time will yield a bonus to knowledge, phantom EXP, and rewards accrued. This bonus yielded increases incrementally up until chain 30, beyond which the bonus is capped. So you can see the chain on the bottom of that UI. Very cool. EXP chains occur upon defeating an enemy whose knowledge level exceeds your own, but the exact threshold will change depending on party size. During solo play, the threshold is based on your own knowledge level, while in a balanced party, the threshold is based on the party's average knowledge level. The exact thresholds are as follows. So solo, if it's 2 levels higher, 2 players, 3 levels higher, 3 or 4 players, 4 or 5 levels higher. If you've got 5 or 6 players in a party, it's 6 or 7 levels higher. You get the idea here. And 7 or 8 players, 7 or 8 levels higher. Chain bonuses will not occur when defeating enemies whose knowledge level falls outside the applicable threshold. So you will also get a chain icon above them. If you're eligible to defeat that enemy, it will tell you, essentially. So that's quite nice as a heads-up display. Phantom jobs then. These are supplemental jobs that can be acquired in addition to your main job. Selecting a phantom job will gain access to specific phantom actions. So you can acquire these as you progress through quests on the Occult Crescent South Horn. You'll gain access to different phantom jobs. Further phantom jobs can be acquired using items called soul shards. These crystalline objects can be purchased from a vendor on the Isle or found in coffers in the field and in critical encounters. So it looks like to collect all of the jobs, you will have to do a bit of everything, and especially the treasure coffers and stuff, so that gives you even more incentive to go for the happy bunnies and stuff like that. Outside of combat and certain specific conditions, phantom jobs can be changed at any time by selecting phantom job details on the HUD, selecting change phantom job and choosing your desired phantom job from the phantom job repertoire window. Wow, words. And as you can see, they've got Phantom Freelancer is what you start off with, basically. That's what that is. So Phantom Job Progression. Phantom Job Progression is governed by your Phantom level, which is increased by accruing Phantom EXP. Defeating enemies and completing encounters upon the Isle will garner Phantom EXP for your current Phantom job. Acquiring sufficient EXP will increase your job's level, unlocking new Phantom actions and Phantom traits in the process. Upon reaching a Phantom job's maximum level, you will receive the Phantom Mastery status, which grants increased damage dealt and other helpful effects, and remains active even should you change to another Phantom job. The more jobs you end up mastering, the more power your Phantom Mastery effects become. So you get basically bonuses for doing all of them, right? So you're getting a powerful bonus upon your first completion and then subsequent, which is cool. It'll make the rest of the content a lot easier. So it might be a bit of a struggle at the start, but the idea is that the further you get in, the easier it gets. A bit like with the crafting and gathering in Occult Crescent, in Cosmo, in the moon, Cosmic Exploration. There we go. The exception to this is the first Phantom job available to you, the Freelancer. Freelancers do not gain experience through traditional means. Instead, it levels up every additional Phantom job you master. Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's really cool. So every time you master one, Freelancer levels up. So you can end up with max level Freelancer if you do all of them. Cool, I'm sure that's an achievement. Phantom actions are special actions available on the Occult Crescent. Different Phantom jobs have access to a variety of offensive, restorative, and supplemental Phantom actions. As you can see, we've got a bun with a large cannon there. That's presumably Cannoneer Looking amazing. Phantom actions can be executed and toggled using the following method. So we've got something similar, that heads-up display that we had for like logos actions and things like that. Special actions that you can swap between. Kind of like a Magia board as well. You can swap around those abilities with a little toggle. It says, upon acquisition, phantom actions are registered to the phantom action panel, for which they can then be selected for execution. You can use the gamepad with the right trigger and right thumb click, which is R2 and R3, to execute the currently selected job action. Phantom action. If multiple phantom actions are available to use, you can press left trigger plus right thumb click to rotate the phantom action panel. Yeah, so you can rotate the panel, select different abilities. The Phantom Action panel can also be controlled using duty actions found under the Duties tab in the Actions and Traits window, so you can customize that. And it's Duty Action 1, Duty Action 2. Cool. Assign to default Phantom Action slot. This assigns the selected Phantom Action to the default slot on the Phantom Action panel. You can hide these things, and you can also just set it to hotbar as well, although that says gamepad only, which is interesting. I don't know why that would be gamepad only. The following settings are accessible via the Phantom Job window. So we've got settings, look at the bottom. It says Phantom Action Rotation, so you can swap which way the skills rotate on that menu to clockwise or anti-clockwise. So you can go clockwise or anti-clockwise depending on your own preference, I suppose. Reset after execution. This, when enabled, resets the Phantom Action panel after you've executed an action. So presumably it rotates back. And there's also gamepad input. Select which combination of inputs are used to select and execute phantom actions. Cool. And via the hotbar, phantom actions can be executed via the hotbar just like any other action. There we go. To do so, simply register the phantom actions found in the duties tabs in actions and traits to your hotbar. Okay, so that just listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1, 2. Okay, all right. Phantom actions 1 to 5 are automatically switched to their respective phantom actions while you're on the Occult Crescent. They can be dragged and dropped to the hotbar or registered via the subcommand menu. Oh, okay, cool. I was a little bit confused when it said gamepad only, but that was just an option earlier. But it looks like you can drag and drop them on PC like normal. Good. Fates then. So there are obviously different bits of content that you can do. This includes fates. We know what fates are. There's not much point in me explaining that. Critical encounters are essentially large-scale battles. Up to 72 players band together to take on powerful opponents. Certain critical encounters can only be triggered by defeating monsters on the Isle. So, very similar to Bostia, Zadnor, that kind of thing. To participate, players must go to the location indicated on their map. So it'll have a timer. It'll tell you a new critical engagement is happening. And then you go to this area. You stand within this blue pulsing circle. And then you get pulled in for the fight. We've also got the Forked Tower. Now, specifically, there are 2 pieces of content, right, for Shades Triangle in this expansion. The first is, obviously, the South Horn, of which includes the Forked Tower Blood. And that's because there will be another Forked Tower in the future, in the second part of this content, in another field instance. So the first one is called Blood. The Forked Towers are the greatest challenge to be found in the Occult Crescent. Accessible upon reaching knowledge level 20 or greater, you may work together up to 48 players to overcome powerful foes and tricky battle mechanics. Forked Towers may be unlocked by completing a certain quest available on the Occult Crescent, so you have to unlock it obviously as well, and be at least level 20 on your Phantom job, which is a lot lower than I expected. Entering the Forked Towers, players must offer sanguine ciphers at a cipher reliquary to activate an ethereal node. That's a lot of words, which will teleport them inside the tower's halls. Ciphers then can be purchased from a member of the expedition via a currency exclusive to the Crescent. The quantity of ciphers in your possession is displayed on the HUD. Cipher reliquaries will only appear during special weather conditions. When 16 or more players offer sanguine ciphers to a reliquary, the ethereal node will activate. And as you can see, it's pretty cool looking, this vibrant green teleport stick, basically. A short time after the node is activated, a maximum of 48 players who offered sanguine ciphers will receive the right of entry, the Forked Tower status effect, granting them clearance to enter the Forked Tower. If more than 48 players offered ciphers, those who invested a greater number will have a higher chance of being selected for entry. Note that expended sanguine ciphers will be returned to those who are not selected. So the earlier you get into this, obviously the riskier it will also be, but also if you want to get into this like super quick, you're going to have to probably put quite a few ciphers into this. Yeah, interesting entry requirements. It's going to be curious to see how Discords deal with that and other communities. So resurrection restrictions rather. While inside the Forked Tower Blood, players will be subject to a status effect that limits resurrection. So much like in Baldessian Arsenal. Stacks of this effect are lost each time players are revived using certain phantom actions. After reaching 0 stacks, players can no longer be resurrected. So that is quite a bit more than I expected. Wow. It might be a little bit harder. Interesting. I like this. I like things when they're a bit more of a challenge. Abandoning duties, players who are incapacitated in the effect and elect to return to the starting point or use the occult return will be transported back to the base camp and will not be permitted to re-enter the tower. Yeah, that makes sense. So, Occult Crescent currencies then. This is just for the whole island. On the Occult Crescent, there are 2 forms of currency. Enlightenment silver pieces, which are acquired from critical encounters and fates, and Enlightenment gold pieces, primarily acquired from defeating enemies in the wild. So, interesting that you get gold just from random enemies. So they're really trying to push that chaining thing, like the EXP chains. Surprising. Both of these can be traded to the Expedition Antiquarian. Wow. I can't speak. Antiquarian. We got there on the South Horn for a variety of items, and they've got a really cool hat as well. Very nice. And a nice looking staff. You can confirm the amount of these currencies in your possession at any time by viewing the Occult Crescent interface. So it shows you how many. There's a cap of 9999. Parties, unlike normal instance duties, of course, you can form, disband, or leave a party at any time on the Occult Crescent Isle. You may also change your online status to looking for party. Sip of water. Balanced parties. A party formed on the Occult Crescent will be considered balanced when all members of a party are within 3 knowledge levels of each other. Okay, in balanced parties, your knowledge level is adjusted to the average level of all party members, and enemies defeated award increased EXP. So this is their catch-up mechanic, right? Pretty much. As long as there's some kind of closeness, there is like a sync ability. This is something that we were hoping for. So that's really cool. A warning icon will display at the top of the menu interface when your party is not balanced. The party leader then may press the level sync icon at the top of the Occult Crescent interface to toggle knowledge level sync on or off. So if you are above 3 levels above, let's say little Timmy comes and joins the content and he's just finished work and you've been doing this all day. And you're like level, 10 or something on the Isle. And he's like, wow, I really wanted to play with you. Well, you still can, because we can now press this button and suddenly we are synced together. Enabling this setting will adjust the knowledge level of all members 3 or more levels higher than the member whose knowledge level is lowest, creating a balanced party. Warriors of Light are encouraged to make use of this feature as needed when playing in a group. Probably the best thing ever, honestly. That's really nice. That promotes a lot of social play, surprisingly. Knowledge crystals. These mysterious crystals erected around the Occult Crescent hold a special power. Oh, I see. So this is what the housing item is then. It's a mysterious crystal. Okay. Knowledge crystals resonate with certain phantom actions, granting players and their party members corresponding effects, such as reduced vulnerability against certain types of attacks, increased movement speed, and more. Oh, so they're like shrines or something from Diablo. They're like buff stones Wonder if they're on a timer or something. Interesting. Treasure coffers. The Occult Crescent is teeming with treasure for the taking. We've got bronze and silver chests there as an example. These chests are only visible to you, so be sure to reap the spoils when you encounter them whilst exploring. Defeating monsters on the island and completing certain events may cause chests to appear somewhere on the isle. Oh, I see. So these treasure chests might be in fixed locations then and have prerequisites? Ooh, I wonder what's in them. That's exciting. There's also persistent pots and plentiful treasure. Some fates on the Occult Crescent will task you with defending magic pots from hostile creatures. Those who contribute to the successful completion of these fates will discover a persistent pot NPC following them afterwards. So these are your happy bunny fates from Eureka, if you remember those. You save the bunny tells you where treasures are. Should a large number of players participate in one of these fates, players will instead be selected at random to have a persistent pot follow them. Same again. Players being followed by a pot will be granted the status "Cash me if you can." Oh, that's terrible. I love the pun, though. In exchange for sips of elixir, these soulkin will offer hints as to the location of hidden treasure. You sense something far, far to the southwest. So happy bunnies. Follow the hints. Use your elixir at the correct location to reveal a concealed coffer. On rare occasions, the "cash me if you can" status may persist even after finding treasure, allowing you to pursue other spoils. Oh, you can have like a chain? That's cool. The hunt for treasure will end when the status expires. You join a critical engagement while being followed by a pot. You're incapacitated, or the persistent pot is also incapacitated. Leaving the Occult Crescent or logging out of the game will also prematurely conclude your treasure pursuits. So bear that in mind. Then there are fortune carrots. Treasure chests on the Occult Crescent sometimes hold a fortune carrot. With one in your possession, you may start to notice signs of certain creatures nearby. Using a fortune carrot near such signs will draw these creatures out into the open, eager to repay you with treasure. Be mindful that when someone receives the reward, however, you will have to search elsewhere for new signs of the creatures. Oh. So it's like competitive against other people. So if you see one of these, someone could go and offer a thing. Oh, okay. Interesting. So there's also the Occult Record. If you remember the field instance notes from Zadnor Bosja, it's back. It looks a little more different, a little more detailed for the Occult Record. It says, complete quests on the Occult Crescent Southhorn to unlock this record. Accessible in the collection in the duty section of the main menu. Information concerning the Occult Crescent discovered during your expedition is compiled here. Entries will be added to the record as you progress through the story. Discover notes in the course of your expedition and after you access certain areas of the Isle. So, the key thing there is discover notes. So yeah, you'll get some for your story, and discovering areas. You will also have to do field notes. So that means we're getting field note drops from Fates again, which probably means there are duels again. Oh boy, the drop rates are going to be interesting, aren't they? And you can bet your butt there's going to be a mount for collecting all of them. Maybe not in this part, but the second part. So that's something to get started on. Lots to do. The phantom weapons then. Oh, is that what they look like? As players explore the Occult Crescent and advance through phantom weapon quests, they will be available to obtain job-specific weapons which can be enhanced as they progress. And of course, there's the unlock requirements level 100 at the Phantom Village at Lidir Seal. And you must also have completed some of the quests for getting into the Occult Crescent, including one last hurrah. Interesting. What do these weapons look like? From this very blurry image, the White Mage Cane is gorgeous. I like the lantern. It reminds me of the Black Mage rod that had the lantern on it last time. The black and purple one, if you know what I mean. But this is like a red and white one, or at least it appears to be, with like a heart inside of it or something. The Machinist weapon's a gun. Still got the Ether Pack. And Paladin is very Paladin. They look cool though. That's probably an early stage, I would imagine. It says obtaining phantom weapons. Upon completing the quest Forging the Phantasmal, players will receive one phantom weapon based on a job with which they progress through this quest. Okay. Additional weapons, upon repeating the quest, Forging the Phantasmal, players may receive additional weapons by speaking with Dodokuli in the Phantom Village. Okay. So you can get the other ones from talking to a guy. Class and job-specific quests. Phantom weapon quests employ a system which will require players to proceed using the same class of job with which they accepted the quest. So the same thing that you're used to with relic weapons. The strength. Oh, and that's it for the Occult Crescent information, by the way. So it looks pretty cool. I'm somewhat excited by some of these like carrot features and things, and the mystic pots. Very cool. And then the strength of the Echo granted in AAC light heavyweight tier for Savage has been increased. 15%, as you can see, on maximum HP, damage dealt, and healing potency. So if you still have yet to clear the first tier, you can go and do that probably a little bit easier. Okay. PvP then. Let's briefly... I don't really want to go over the PvP stuff because we've already talked for a long time today. But we might look at that in another video. There is a new PvP season, ranked, not series. Do not get them confused. There's no new rewards from PvP. It's just a ranked reset. And with that comes some new adjustments. The majority of these look like small potency changes, maybe buff durations. Nothing too crazy, but again, I'm not going to go into it because we'd be here all day if we went through every single job. Same for Frontline. We have some adjustments to job damage output for Paladin, Gunbreaker, and Monk. It does look like there are some buffs to Paladin. Yeah, there are buffs across the board. What's that about? -10? I don't know. That's a weird one, isn't it, to say damage dealt? Oh, on the gauge fill rates. I see. The following adjustments have been made to Borderlands Ruins. Tactical points required for victory have been reduced. Okay. So there's quite a few bits and pieces they're trying to tailor Borderlands Ruins Secure because it's basically a new game mode. It's quite fun, actually. But, yeah, they're still ironing out some of the finer details. So let's move on to the exciting bit, the items. So, of course, these are the new sets of gear, presumably that you can get for your Phantom jobs. And, yeah, interesting. I don't know if I like the idea of 3 reskins. And, well, I guess they're all reskins of the same thing. The pink wolf outfit, though. Very cool. Very cool. I don't know. We'll have to see what they look like in game because this blurry image is pretty awful, isn't it? Pretty awful. The following items have been, item names have been changed. Okay, they've changed basically everything that's Far Eastern. Instead of it saying like Eastern or exclusive Eastern or just the Najar stuff. Oh, they changed Najar Lord's togi to jacket. Why? I thought it... Isn't it more appropriate if you call it a togi? Oh, I don't know. Whatever. The Mungaic hat is now the Far Eastern Enforcer's hat. That's going to be really strange. I'm so used to calling this the Mungaic attire. And now it's going to be the Far Eastern... It's going to be very difficult. They've done it with everything. They're now Far Eastern everything. It's instead of Mungaic and Socialite, it's Enforcer and Socialite. Okay. Don't know the reason for that. Maybe it makes it easier for the database or to find things. That's a lot of Far Eastern. That's going to be nightmare to search through on a text file rather than just searching for, specific things. Interesting. The progress required to complete cosmic exploration projects has been reduced. So a lot of the feedback for cosmic exploration has been, what about the servers that do not have the same population as Cactuar US? And quite honestly, yeah, I agree. I don't have a problem personally with the everybody having different rates of completion on the board, the grand scheme of things, how quickly they get to something. However, fates failing, like the actual level up fates failing, and having to auto-complete after 2 failures, which is 2 set periods of 8 hours where they can't do any mech missions, they can't do any red alerts or anything, what's that 8-hour debuffs there? And they get that twice in a row for an upgrade, and sometimes they have 2 upgrades next to each other. Yeah, failing those fates kind of sucks. So presumably they're addressing that. I don't know what exploration projects means. Presumably that means the actual leveling up. I really hope that's a thing. It was a terrible idea, in my opinion, to launch these 2 patches so close together with these massive pieces of content. The patches wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't for the fact that, you know, the Occult Crescent is huge and massive and requires a lot of time, and now the cosmic exploration is going to get left in the literal lunar dust for a few weeks. So yeah, interesting. Let's see what that feels like. The difficulty and maximum quality and rewards for certain missions in cosmic exploration have been adjusted. So all of the A ranks then that people were saying were a little bit too difficult. This includes the Carpenter, Blacksmith, Armorer, Goldsmith, Leatherworker, Weaver, Alchemist, and Culinarian A1. The A1 missions weren't hard, were they? Interesting. The adjustments, the difficulty from 900 to 5,000, maximum quality 16,900 to 14,1. That is a huge reduction in quality. Wow. Okay. And the rewards have increased. You get 18 Cosmo credits instead of 17. You basically get an extra Lunar credit, an extra Cosmo credit, and a little bit more Cosmic class score. Okay. I didn't think the A1s needed to be nerfed, really, but I don't know. Let me know what you think about that. Maybe they want like an entry to the A ranks just to complete the relic tools. That's what it'll be. It'll be people who don't want to obviously do all of the do all of the missions. They just want to get their relic tools and move on. Maybe, yeah, making the A ranks more accessible, at least on level 1. Okay, I agree with that. During cosmic exploration, on-screen text will now inform players that gathering points are not being displayed when a stellar mission is accepted without an active status of prospect or triangulate. Oh, okay. That's useful. New miner and botanist gathering points have been added. In general, probably near Mamook, right? In Yaktel. New items have been added to gathering points, Yaktel. New fishing stuff, Yaktel, yeah. Level increased of the area, yeah, Yaktel, for the new Allied Society stuff. New mounts have been added. We finally get this added, which is definitely going to be from Shades Triangle. I'm guessing it is the Bismarck type airship. We've wanted this ever since that live letter, so I can't wait to see how much that goes for on the market board, or if you can only earn it from a specific achievement. That would be better. New minions have been added. A gold turtle. Oh, he looks so cute. I want a gold turtle. And it's like dove. I guess that is like a dove bird. I don't know, like a parakeet. I'm not sure. Maybe that is a dove. It looks a bit like a dove. It's got dove wings, but I don't recognize the beak. So, don't know what that is. Very cool. Look at those parasols. Oh, a white lace parasol and a black lace parasol. Those are really nice. Okay, I want those. Hopefully they come from probably Shades Triangle. New faceware as well. So we've got two-toned glasses here. That's cool. Like red and black on those. Hopefully that means we can have different color options. And then we've got system changes. So in order to reduce the server congestion, we'll be implementing multiple instances of field instances for Tuliala, Yaktel, and a new area added in 7.25. Cool. So if you're on your hunt farming, Yaktel is now open for business. Multiple instances mean multiple hunt marks. The number of multiple field instances implemented in 7.21 for Sinus Adornum has been reduced from 5 to 3. There's less people, yeah. As congestion is now alleviated, we'll be removing the instancing of heritage found areas. Very cool. And the following actions have been added. So phantom actions on the duty and actions traits window. New achievements, new portrait accents have been added. Interesting. I want to know if that's just there. There are new titles, obviously, and achievements, new portrait accents, new adventurer play accents, and we've also got the name of that emote, which is /twirl. So it says, merrily spin around to flaunt your presently equipped attire. So it's not a dance, it's a twirl, like a fashion one. That could be cool. It sounds like it's something that's a general emote, though, and not a persistent emote. So we'll have to see and have a look at that. Additions have been made to the auto translation dictionary, additions to the auto dictionaries on PS5, PS4, and Xboxes, new trophies, new achievements, new music, new sound effects. Yeah. And then finally, the resolved issues. The following issues have been addressed. An issue wherein playing Cosmic Exploration when specific NPCs were displayed incorrectly under certain conditions. There was an issue when speaking with Scanning Way during Cosmic Exploration wherein dialogue relevant to the player's contribution in the previous ranking period was erroneously displayed. There was an issue in Cosmic wherein Godgift's shop did not include Patrician's bottoms along its wares. Okay. An issue undertaking stellar missions as a gatherer in Cosmic Exploration, wherein closing the stellar reduction window before displaying the automatic ethereal reduction window would cause automatic ethereal reduction to become inoperable. Oh, that's weird. There was an issue participating in the Cosmic Mech Ops, wherein the effect duration was displayed for the status ground support. Participating in Cosmic Mech Ops as ground support wherein leveling and rejoining caused the field scanner to become inaccessible. There was an issue with Stellar Return, and Warp Loader's special actions were affected by battle effect settings. Oh, interesting. An issue when playing Cosmic, wherein the lunar credit bonus granted by Cosmic tools occasionally did not function correctly. Oh, I didn't know about that. That's annoying. The 35% bonus on my complete tool wasn't working all the time. Irritating. Not that there's much to use the Cosmic, credits on. An issue wherein playing Cosmic, when 5% of the lunar credit bonus for certain levels of Cosmic tool was not adequately accrued. Okay, so they weren't working. The values were screwed. An issue when playing Cosmic, wherein the days displayed on the starward standing stellar changed with incorrect timing. Yeah, I remember that. This was a display-only issue and did not affect the calculation of player contributions. Okay. An issue wherein traveling to and within Sinus Adorum would cause equipped fashion accessories to be removed. I didn't even notice that. Executing the Scholar PvP action expedient directly after Adloquium would cause the additional effect Recitation to be consumed. Didn't know about that. So, Sage PvP, action Phlegma 3, and executing Toxicon would occasionally deactivate Toxicon's 10% increase to a target's damage. Well, that sucks. I'm glad they're aware of that. An issue playing as a Makote, wherein equipping certain headgear would cause graphics in the ears and back of the head to display incorrectly. Which gear? Which headgear? Oh, I'm curious now which was broken. An issue wherein changing certain body gear would result in incorrect graphics. The evoker's waist clout. Clout? Shouldn't that be coat? An augmented evoker's waist clout were partially colored incorrectly. Okay. An issue when using the vacuum suit and high mobility vacuum suit mounts, wherein the pet hotbar would automatically replace hotbar 1, even when the setting was disabled in the hotbar settings. Oh, that's weird. I think I noticed that, actually. I just discounted it. An issue wherein playing as a Lalafell, wherein certain graphics were incorrectly displayed when using the sit emote. In addressing this issue, certain graphics for the following gear have been adjusted. So the Red Summer Pareo, we got the Red Summer Maro. So it's all the summer stuff. Sea Breeze, Summer Pareo, Curl Beach Tanga, Seven Seas Tanga, the Rathalos coils, all the panties, basically. So what was happening then? Graphics were incorrectly displayed. Other various issues have also been addressed. So those are things they fixed. Things they know about. There's not many. An issue in the Occult Crescent South Horn as a phantom thief. Ooh, spoilers. Wherein the phantom action vigilance does not apply the status foreseen offense under certain conditions. No context for that. That sounds interesting. An issue when playing as certain phantom jobs on the Occult Crescent South Horn, wherein the effects for a phantom action may not display correctly. So display issues, that's fine. South Horn, wherein regen's normally hidden cure amount is displayed when the following jobs are under the effect of Battle High and take certain actions. Dark Knight when conjuring a simulacrum, Machinist when deploying an automated queen, Summoner when summoning Carbuncle, and Scholar when summoning a fairy. Oh, that's weird. An issue when engaging the critical encounters the Black Regiment and Company of Stone on the Occult Crescent South Horn, wherein the limit gauge erroneously resets when the boss monster appears. Oh, weird. An issue also encountered engaging certain critical encounters on the South Horn, where monster actions will cause the ground to shake even at a distance. Oh, that's going to be nauseating. Fork Tower Blood on the Occult Crescent, wherein the following message is not displayed. If a player logs out or disconnects, then re-enters this duty, they will be incapacitated upon returning to battle. So there's some missing text. The map icons indicating progress not correctly displaying. Checking quest icons on the map of Occult Crescent. The tooltip for level requirement displays the knowledge level icon. Apparently that's not supposed to happen. When changing to Phantom Freelancer, wherein the previous Phantom Jobs action panel is still visible for a few seconds under certain conditions. That's not too bad. An issue after acquiring 5 actions for a single Phantom Job, wherein turning the action panel before leaving the duty will cause the action panel to appear in the turned state upon re-entering instead of being reset. Okay, well these are minor. An issue playing in Occult Crescent, wherein coffers placed indoors are still dampened by rain. Is that a mechanic, like a game mechanic, or is this just... That's such a weird thing to put. So we've also got a Mammalja Society quest, wherein the help text for certain fish is incorrect, and also with those Mammalja indicating incomplete quest requirements appears on the minimap regardless of gathered items. Okay, and many other text issues. And that's the patch notes for 7.25. It's a bit of a lengthy one, but there was quite a lot of information to talk about with Occult Crescent, and I am super excited to get stuck into it. Let me know what you're most excited for. Personally, the Parasols and all of the collectibles, the minions, the mounts, etc. Getting a hold of that Bismarck-esque airship is going to be awesome. And I'm going to be spending a lot of time in Occult Crescent leveling my ass up. So expect lots of live streams and videos as we unlock things. Much love. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.